Hello, Changemakers. Sending you love and peace, and welcome to MomTalk. It's an honor to have with us today ElahehAmani, a dear mentor, a leading lady in the peace movement, cultivation of peace, peace education, and all. For those of you who are familiar with her work, she has been a leading force in bringing more equity, equanimity, gender equality, and educating our communities, our global communities, and being one of those goalkeepers. It's an honor to have her join us from Paris. ElahehAmani, welcome to MomTalk.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, and hello to you and all your listener and viewer of the program.
Wonderful. I know that this is a very busy week for you. I know lots is happening. One of the important events that you will be attending and I guess cultivating peace is the Women's Peace Table. Can you give us a little information about this event and how those goalkeepers who are interested in joining your forces or joining you or joining your community can do that?
Sure. The Women Peace Table is an initiative started in 2015. It started in 10 countries, whether the countries that they are in conflict zone or post-conflict, the countries that they are going through post-conflict situation. And then in 2000, there were 19 countries participating in the Women Peace Table. And this year, which I'm very excited and honored to be one of the participants in The Hague in Netherlands next week is 30 countries. Women from 30 countries will be participating in Peace Table. Women from Afghanistan, Algeria, Bangladesh, Brazil, Colombia, Congo, Kenya, Laos, Morocco, Mexico, Nepal, Pakistan, Palestine, and other countries. So it's so exciting to see that since 2015, from 10 countries, now it's expanding to 30 countries. And the notion behind Women Peace Table is that more than 2 decades ago, the UN Security Council passed a resolution 1325. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the most progressive resolutions of United Nations, but not much attention have been paid to it because in this resolution, the governments are held accountable to engage women at peace table. Women should be sitting at the table, or as they say in UN sessions, you're either on the menu or you are at the table. Mm-hmm. So women should be at the peace table, but we know that in many peace negotiations, whether by developing countries like Afghanistan or other Iraq or other countries that they are in conflict zone, nor in more developed countries, we don't see 30% women being part of the negotiating team. So the idea of Women Peace Table was that along the side of peace negotiation, women hold Women Peace Table in the same country to educate public and grassroots and civil society about the role of women in peacemaking. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting that the studies show that if women are participating in peace negotiation, peace is more sustainable. So there are a whole host of literature that been done since the last 2 decades about the role of women in peacemaking, in conflict and post-conflict peacemaking. So I'm excited that next week I will be attending the 2017 Women Peace Table in The Hague.
That's wonderful. And I know for years you have been a firm believer that if we empower women, if we bring women to the tables and make their voices heard and count and join in bringing more gender equality, equanimity at homes, basically, that inside-out process, that we all win. it's good for all of us, because that's the bottom line of consciousness. So I know for those of us who practice conscious parenting, for those of us who believe in peace learning parenting, it is part of the family system. I think once we empower our girls, once we see more gender equality at homes, once women have a voice in their societies and they're at work, at school, wherever they are, we see that peace is cultivated. Can you tell us a little bit about that process and what has been sort of the force and motivation behind you engaging with the UN and all the leadership that you bring into not just our Iranian and not just our Iranian American community, but globally, internationally, and why you believe this is such an important mission in cultivating peace?
Absolutely, absolutely. Peace will be attained at different level. We need to build a culture of peace, a culture of negotiation and dialogue, because there is no other sustainable way to resolve conflicts. And that would start at all different layers of society. From home, it's related from peace at home to peace in society, because at home, if we build the culture of peace and negotiation, and I believe conflict resolution is a life skill. It's not something only for mediators. Someone once asked me at UN that if you were the Minister of Education, what would you do? I said I would make conflict resolution skills mandatory from school up, from elementary school.
Right on. Right on. We're jumping up and down. We're like, yes, yes,
right.
Yes.
Because it's a life skill. It's a life skill from the schoolyard to home to society to work environment. If we want to build a culture of peace, we need to be skillful in how to resolve conflict in a peaceful way. And I think but that's one of the discourses of building peace, is building the culture of peace and cultivating the culture of peace. But also we need to have the political intention and the political force and desire to make peace happen. And I think particularly in current climate, in today's world, we need to put a lot of effort to work from, even for social justice, to work from paradigm of love, to work from paradigm of peace, because that is really the meaningful by internalizing the peace within our own personal culture, because that's related and it reflects to the work that we do in society. I'm old enough to know that there were a time that many Iranians, we were social activists, but not necessarily from the paradigm of peace and love. And I now know that if we don't, that's not the point of our departure. We end up somewhere that we don't want to end up there. So it's so important. I think there is a dialectical relation between peace at home, in private, and peace in public space, between personal peace and peace in society. These are all related. And culture of peace and negotiation and civility. These are things that it's very important, and I really appreciate the work that you do, Nelly John, with our community, because you're focusing at family, which is a cell of society. So if you can make it happen, then there is a much better chance to achieve and attain peace at societal level, and for that reason, at the global level.
Yes, and thank you. And I have to say, this intent, my peace learning intent, was not meaningful until I became a mother. And I think there is something really organic and evolutionary that happens to us as we mother or become mentors or have this cultivating relationship that is meaningful, that is intimate from a maternal or a parental perspective. And within that transition, I quickly realized that nothing was more significant and important to me than really trying to understand this peace learning process to cultivate peace, to bring more peace, because I realized right off the bat there's so many internal conflicts that come up. So much of the sort of heritage, the cultural heritage, or what we have inherited from our past, our deeply rooted consciousness of, the conflict, or what I refer to as the golden triangle of love, peace, and conflict. And it is a very tight relationship. I think the more we become conscious and aware of the presence of conflict, the natural, organic presence of conflict, and that you're right, we do need to educate and teach those skills of how to navigate through love, peace, and conflict. And when we do, you start to feel growth, you start to evolve, and you start to experience that growth within your relationship. And I know my dear friend RickMorrison and Judy Julian and all the parents or even mentors, you don't have to be a biological parent. I think it's that mentorship responsibility that you referred to as a social being. I think we experience that social responsibility to cultivate peace. And it is an inside-out process, and I have been blessed to, I followed your work because my mom introduced you and your work to me, and we had a friendship from years back. And I think it's that same concept of, through friendship, learning from each other and being empowered and stepping up, and I think helping each other join this path of peace cultivation. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful. So for those viewers who'd like to join this movement or to join perhaps next year's conference, or if they're in Europe and like to join the Women's Peace Table, what's the best way to get this information?
I would be happy to send the information if they can contact me through you.
Okay.
Or, that would be a very good place, and I would be happy to send them information and some literature, and hopefully most of the literature are in English, but hopefully we are able to develop some literature in Farsi. So I would be happy to provide that information to your listener.
We do have a flyer from this event, so we will have this flyer available to our viewers, and also on social media, MomTalk LA, as well as ElahehAmani's social media page. And we will have all that information available to you on our website as well as social media. So please join us, please join in this effort. And even if it means to join and listen to some of these talks or follow the talks or join the conversation, it is one small step, which is not really small. I think peace, cultivation of peace is all about those small steps. And so it's getting closer to getting to 50-50. And I think we all benefit from that.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time. From Paris, au revoir.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. So for those of you who are joining, again, you're on MomTalk LA on this very important topic of women's leadership, women's peace table, bringing women to the tables, making their voices count, and not just on the menu. As Ms. ElahehAmani referred to at the UN, you're either on the menu or you're at the table. And so we're hoping that more women are at tables, joining these tables, these peace tables, and that moms who do such amazing peace learning work every day, and dads who do such amazing peace learning work every day, are joining the forces to getting to 50-50. And so we're so happy to have one of these amazing dads, a conscious parent, author, and an activist, the founder of the Hug Alliance, someone who full-heartedly believes in the power of love, peace, connection, empathy, and hugs. with us. RickMorrison, such an honor to have you again on MomTalk.
It's wonderful to be with you again, Dr. Nelly. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So tell us, first of all, you're one of those men who, the he's for she's, you know, the men who believe in empowering women, empowering little girls. You wrote a book with your little girl. And you have been empowering her, bringing her voice up, listening to her, being a conscious parent. Tell us what that means to you.
It's really the future that I see, and like Miss Amani said, it's the bridge to get there. And I just do it because it's my instinctual nature to kind of be in the moment with Shauna and create. But I love that she brought up an action plan, because just to take a step back, I think we all wish for peace, we pray for peace, we hope for peace, and those are wonderful, intentions, but without actual action plan, curriculums, like she was saying, those are the skill sets that are going to actually get us to those wishes and, blessings and dreams that we have. So with my parenting and with Shauna, it's to have her be peaceful within herself so she can go out into the world and radiate more peace. And it all comes from within. So it required me to do some inner work to also establish that equilibrium between the masculine and the feminine. I think women at the table, the first thing is they're great listeners. They listen. And it all starts right there, because you can't even get to the next step unless you're hearing. So I love that. And that's something my daughter instinctually has taught me, to listen, in the good times and the bad times of parenting. Even those bad times are good times, but they're opportunities.
I love that you're being a role model to your little girl in reflecting or mirroring what it means to be empathetic, what it means to be a good, attuned parent who's listening. And that you take time and those pauses, those conscious pauses, to let her know that she has a lot of strength in that. That she is a great listener. She has a lot of empathy from the inside out. That it is a peaceful experience.
Right, and peace is always there. It's always present. And it's just it's muted based on all our external conditions we're going through. And if we're just present to it, the peace it's right there, and we don't even have to make it come. It's already present if we strip away some of the filters that we're seeing through. So with parenting, it's such an opportunity to be able to kind of look at yourself or external things that are triggering you, and realize that, wow, you have peace too. And a lot of times with our children, if we're in that peaceful state, we come to it and we meet them where they're at. Sometimes they may not be in a peaceful state, but we'll be able to get them into a more peaceful state if we're already present in it. I love the work.
That's awesome. And I love that you understand the meaningfulness of being behind women, joining in at the tables where women are, for example, at schools. I know oftentimes women are leading the, parent association meetings or gatherings, and it's always heartwarming when dads show up and when fathers are involved, and they support the more 50-50 equanimity, gender equality at places where perhaps it's a little tilted. You see less of one gender or the other.
Right.
And so in that sense, I think you are such a
thank
great
you.
change maker.
It's one of my missions and my callings to bring more dads to that party. To be able to bring them to really listen, because they'll have fuller, richer lives because of it. One of my first blogs that I did for Betsy Chassey's Meaningful Mom site was about dads. Your girls need you, in so many ways. But, for the partners they will choose later in life, there's all of those kind of things wrapped in it. But if we can listen, we take that back into our business meetings, our boardrooms, all of those type of things, and we come with a much more compassionate ear. And so, really they're helping us.
Yeah.
But the girls especially.
That's right, and listening to each other's
Yeah.
stories. You mentioned Betsy Chassis, so I have to congratulate her and you as well in our group.
And you.
And today is book release day for Betsy Chassie's book, and you want to tell our audience a little bit more about that and the stories that we're sharing with our audience?
Yeah, I mean, the book is entitled Dancing in the Unknown, and what it represents to me, and every person will have a different interpretation, but it's taking chances and dancing in what you don't know, but what you don't know may serve your higher self even better, and to not allow fear and, you know, all the things that your outer mind is going to tell you why it can't or won't happen. But being in that area, in that space of knowing that you can do anything is and you're not fear-based in doing it, is really important. You know, dancing in the unknown, if you really strip it down, it's about peace learning within us, because if we're peaceful and we don't have internal conflict between us, we're going to come up with things that are more creative, more productive to society, you know, if we're already in that state. So it really touches on everything and all the work that you do, because, you know, you have to kind of get to that equilibrium state and have that inner peace to be able to go out and do something. Because if you're fear-based and you don't have inner peace and you have conflict, you're going to just tell yourself all the reasons you shouldn't do it. You know. So, anyways, that's what the book is about. And
so, dancing with the
dancing
in the unknown, Betsy Chassie's book. It's released today, and it's a collective sort of gathering of essays and chapters that we've all submitted our sort of part of our life stories, and we're sharing our life stories with you. And I know, for me, it was it was dancing in the unknown, because it's taking a risk to just, without filter, to share your story,
right,
and to voice your experience, and no filters, right?
Right. There's so much unknown out there, but the more you dance in it, the more comfortable you are in it.
Yeah.
That's what you know. Kind of the analogy to, you know, you can dip your toe in the pool, or you can just jump.
That's right.
And then your body acclimates really quickly.
That's right. That's right. And it's a great community, collective consciousness experience. I think I was encouraged by Betsy and you and some of the other authors who've shared their life stories, because it is collective growth together. And I think when we grow together, when we take that risk and chance and go beyond our comfort zone,
that's it.
That there's a special connection, and we evolve, and we take a chance to evolve, and then we get back on sort of the thinking in the box and all the ways that we're conditioned to think and feel and be. But every once in a while, or as often as you can, I think it's nice to take that risk and to just go for it and just go for a swim.
Yeah, and the ripple effect that it has on people around us is really profound, because that evolution that we are having affects everybody in your life, and you're bringing those people with you.
That's
you know, up higher, which is amazing, and you may even inspire them to dance. Yeah,
that's right. And it's very collectivistic. You know, I love that part of it. It feels like you're in a tribe of like-minded family members, families who are like friends, who are not afraid to open up and share their stories and to dance in the unknown. So it really is special. So if you get a chance, check it out. It's available on Amazon. And we'll post it on MomTalk LA as well as the Hug Alliance, and I know there are a couple of flyers going around. So if you want to get more information on Rick Morrison's work, he's the founder of the Hug Alliance as well as the Hug Store. He's the author of the book, The Hug Store, and it is such a great book to read with your children, to cultivate peace through empathy, through understanding, children's and their imagination, and to support a conscious family who's on a path to raise consciousness and to cultivate character and cultivate culture and to bring more 50-50 sort of experiences to the world. And so one of my favorite dads, RickMorrison. Such a pleasure to have you, Rick, and I know we are going to have our next conversation on the Evolve conference.
Yes.
So let's talk about that. You and I both were there amongst our other friends and Conscious Evolve family members. Some who I've never had, I met them through, virtual worlds, but had a chance to have that belly-to-belly meeting, and it was so special.
Yeah, it's such fertile ground. Where everybody, like you were speaking collectively, is there to prop, and there's you can just voice anything and not be judged for it, which just allows for creativity and just to be really prolific. And I mean, I'm always inspired around that group, but again, coming out of it, a lot of my work with men, and a lot of the women were so supportive of that work to bring more men. And there were several more men than at the Evolve the year prior, and that was really exciting. That we were having our own little bonding moments and everything, and talking about how we can be better parents and bring things, what Dr. Shefali, who heads up Evolve, her work it's just revolutionary,
Yeah, she's amongst those leading ladies or really conscious leaders who started this revolution, bringing conscious parenting to the families and focusing on this inside-out process and what it means to each individual to detach and reattach or go through this separation individuation. So it's individual as well as collective experience. And I think what I loved, and this was my first experience at the Evolve conference, I had been to some of her workshops before, but to collectively experience this evolution and revolution and to evolve together was really special. And really, I think it's an opportunity where you can dance in the unknown and just be open to meeting new minds and people. And what I really enjoyed was how others connect with you, and then because everyone's open, we're all open and we're all, I think we have an open heart, an open soul, open presence. Magical experiences happen.
And I just want to briefly share one, and this is somebody I didn't know and just reached out to on Facebook, but Alexandra Foles, the author of The Heirloom, I read a review of her book somewhere, and it had similar underlying themes that the Hug Store was saying in the themes, but it was an older child that would enjoy her book, roughly 7 to 14, and the Hug Store was for 7 and under. So we collectively thought, well, let's share our story. And we both took a chance on each other, and it's developed into an amazing way to get our stories out there. But it's such fertile ground, and everyone is so supportive. So, if to look into Evolve is great, but people can start their own groups like this. And
it is. I think once you share your interests, just like any other group, my focus has always been cultivating peace. So I'm like this peace learning magnet, where people who are attuned to peace, are cultivating peace, are interested in peace. We somehow find each other.
Right.
And it's great. I love that. And I think it is then, what do you do with the sort of some of the ideas, some of the actions, and how do you cultivate in bringing it into an action plan and taking those next steps? I know you and I have talked about collaborating and doing some work together. And I think you won't know until you actually create it, and put it in practice and do it. And then you have to kind of watch it grow, right? Just like a plant.
Nurture it.
Nurture it.
Which women are great at and more men are getting great at.
That's right. That's right. It's a cultivation process. And with amazing leaders, we have Judy, who will be joining us soon on MomTalk, Judy Gillen, and she's chief editor or the founder of Inspired Parenting magazine.
Yeah, get ready. Fasten your seatbelts.
Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. It'll be exciting.
She's revolutionary in what she brings to so many things in education, but she has an element, and she'll tell you more about it, but with entertainment and merging the two. And it's really beautiful, and nobody is doing it. It's a wonderful platform. Yeah.
So it takes creativity, it takes courage. I think courage, because as I talk to many parents, and parents who come to my office, or parents who are focused on conflict and depression and anxiety, I say, well, what if for one moment, in time, we can just take a pause, take that conscious pause, intentional pause, and shift on to this mindset that cultivates growth, peace, and happiness.
Right.
Let's just do that. And we sometimes do it through meditation, sometimes do it through just breaths and, visualization. Sometimes we do it through storytelling in different ways. Play, with children, it's often play therapy. But when that shift happens, it's just so beautiful to watch that growth,
Right.
That inside out experience, and that aha, moment when families are now not stuck, not stuck in the cycle of depression, anxiety, and some of these issues that bring a lot of suffering. And I think cultivating peace is tied into having this growth mindset.
Right. It's something that I just saw on Facebook last night on a platform that usually is not the friendliest place to go and be so revealing. But I've noticed in the Facebook posts I find most powerful are the ones where people are most vulnerable, where their child didn't get all A's, or they had a fight with their spouse and they didn't deal with it as good as they could have. But when they put that out there, and you see so many more comments, because it's a platform and it makes everybody, it equalizes, and because we've all been there. In social media, I would love to see social media become that platform that it can, to not always be about something great. I mean, one day I forgot Shauna's karate class. I literally just completely forgot about it, and she was really, really upset with me, and she made sure I knew it. But I put out to Facebook, has anyone ever forgotten to take their daughter somewhere? And it was like so vulnerable, and but I wanted to know that I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And it was like an outpouring of people like been there, and it just made me feel so much better. So then I felt more peaceful after.
Yeah. When you just mentioned that, it reminded me of a time when I forgot, I missed the time of my daughter's best friend's birthday. So it was like at an earlier time, and I had saved it at a later time on my calendar. So it was such an epic fail. I mean, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed.
For her, for you, for everything.
For everyone. Yeah. It was just one of those epic fail moments. And I mean, she was very forgiving, thank goodness. But it was one of those times that, yes, we do. We have those vulnerable times that we fail. And so then how do you repair and move beyond that failure? But through sharing your failure, I think you're right on that you cultivate empathy.
Yeah, and
because when you share with me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I've done that. And it feels awful.
Right. Instead of, one-upping and a lot of things that we do in society that just, are regressive and not progressive. So,
Yeah. So that's all about conscious parenting. We support each other, and we try to enrich our communities, cultivate peace, and to bring more happiness into our worlds, from the inside out, families to societies. So we're going to take a quick break, watch a video, and when we come back, Judy Julin will be with us, so stay tuned.
My name is Hilty Kate Leshak. I'm 9 years old.
今年9岁了
मैं 9 साल की हूँ मैं.
and I'm 9 years old.
The best thing about being a boy is like a boy is very sporty.
The best thing being a girl is because that Girls can do a little bit more things than boys can.
יותר חזק, ואתה יכול להרים דברים כמו מקררים.
The best thing about being a girl is now I don't have to pretend to be a boy. Before I transitioned, I was just pretending to be a boy, but now I'm a girl and I'm a lot happier.
The worst thing about being a girl is that you just can't do things that boys can do.
The worst thing about being a boy is your under armpit stinks.
Like, it kind of bothers me how there was not one girl president. One thing I wish I could do, but I can't because I'm a girl, is 在树上抓那些知了，抓蜻蜓。I can't be treated like I wanted to. 从树上如果摔下来的话，会把皮给摔破，流很多血。Eu acho que na aparência são pouco mais diferenciadas. If I was a girl, my life would be very strange and odd.
Well, I wouldn't be one of those fancy girls, I would just be like a tomboy.
The hair always comes in your face. It would be very, very irritating with the long hair, and the boys tease you about not running fast. If I was a girl, I would have to play with Barbies. I won't be able to play boy games.
Eu não posso, me envolver nos segredos nas meninas. Something that makes me sad is thinking of my dad. I used to go to my dad's house, and then one day he left me on the porch. I got bullied.
Hello and welcome to Mom Talk. And it's a pleasure, an honor to have Judy Julin with us. She's the chief editor and the founder of Inspiring Parent, as well as so many other children enrichment, parent enrichment groups and pop-ups. And I'm going to have her explain what she does. Amazing work. It's so I'm so excited and so happy to have her on Mom Talk. Welcome, Judy.
Dr. Nelly, I'm so happy to be here. Getting to know you, getting to know your peace learning parenting, it's really at the core of what I like to do in the world with conscious others, and it's all about youth empowerment, inspired parenting, and educational reform. And as you mentioned earlier, it all really begins with us, and it's peace learning from within so that we can give without. And I kind of like to do it around play. Whether it's play with the children in our midst, a playful mind with the teachers at our schools, a sense of awe and wonder with parenting in the home, and then bringing that out into the community in what we call edutainment. So it's education, but it's entertaining and it's engaging, and it can really be fun.
Wonderful. And I know, I've heard of your work and I know your work, so I know that what you say, actually you do. And I've seen kids love your work. There's a pop-up coming up,
Yes.
the Pico pop-up. Will you tell us a little bit about that? And for families who are interested, I highly recommend it. It's coming up in October, so very soon, not this weekend, but the following weekend. And you can get more information. We'll put up the information on MomTalk LA, as well as Judy will tell you how, but it's incredible, it's fun, it's educational, and it's engaging. It's that peace learning inside out experience, engagement, and cultivating peace through play and families. So tell us more about this Pico pop-up.
If you think about it, when you talk about peace learning, it's peace learning in the community. We've chosen a neighborhood in the West Pico area between Overland and Patricia Avenues. It's all walkable. It's for all ages. And it happens on October 8th from 11 to 3. And we've got yoga, prenatal. We've got RickMorrison leading a panel of conscious dads to talk about how it is to raise the children today. And it's really going to be great. We've got Susie Lula coming and talking about the motherhood evolution. And interestingly enough, we have a grandmother in the neighborhood who's opening up her garden for talk about seed-to-table learning, the importance of biodynamic gardening. And children can actually come with their parents, with their grandparents, come in the garden and play. We'll have wonderful, healthy foods from the vendors. So we're encouraging local businesses to interact in peaceful, loving ways with each other, in collaborative ways. And we're having children and their parents and their siblings. We've got Teen Empower workouts led by teens, and wonderful Rock Your Dharma yogas coming for young girls, teaching all about empowering words, peaceful, loving contentment within yourselves. So it's actually for all ages, and we're excited because it could become something of the next evolution of learning, and it's all in the neighborhood, all ages, and we even have sensory classes for those young toddlers who are highly sensitive.
Wow.
So we've kind
Just
of got
listening to
everything.
that, it's so
It's a one-stop.
peacelicious. It's so peacelicious, everyone. It's amazing. You have to come. It is October 8th. You can't miss it. It's Pico pop-up. We're going to put up the information. It is really an incredible integration, multidisciplinary, multi-generational. I mean, if you think of it from all angles of interpersonal neuroscience all the way to just pure fun and play, and having this incredible opportunity to meet like-minded folks and parents and to cultivate relationships and friendships that lead to cultivation of peace.
You said it all. It's perfect.
Incredible.
Thank you. Yes,
Incredible.
Yes.
I'm
I think
so
it's
excited.
It's really, I think, the next phase, if you will, the next evolution of learning. And it can happen in community. And it's inclusive and, as you say, multisensory. So we ignite and excite all of the senses, whether it's through aromatherapy, actual interaction with the children together, wisdom sharing with elders, and movement. So it'll be fun. I hope everybody comes out.
All right, so you can't miss it, okay? I want every one of you, especially if you're local, to join in. And perhaps there will be a live streaming of the event, so those who can't come
We're going
in
to do
person.
some Facebook Live.
Wonderful.
And we'll have a photographer. So we've got a Pico pop-up Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook and follow along the fun. And City Moms app has given us an app for the day. So you can follow along with all the fun, learn where everything is for that 4-hour period on West Pico, and it's going to be a great day.
That's wonderful. And so if you think of it, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to just overall health, well-being, cultivation of well-being and cultivation of peace, I believe that what Judy and Rick and the Pico Papa, what you stand for is bringing that attitude of the neighborhood approach and partnering up, so the partnership approach, integration of partners, your neighborhood, cultivating peace and wellness and well-being from the ground up, from the inside out. And it is spectacular. I can't wait for this to just have this ripple effect and to grow from city to city and from home to home. And we need all of you, conscious parents and peace learning, loving parents, to join in. We'll have all this information on MomTalk LA, so join the site. If you're not a member, you can subscribe to the Hug Alliance as well as Pico Pop-Up on Facebook.
Yes.
Judy Julian's Facebook page, Rick Morrison's Facebook page, the Hug Store. If you don't have the book, the Hug Store, I highly recommend it for all the little ones, 7 and under, and even for older kids. Honestly, it's one of those themes where you can cultivate peace with your imagination and build that story up. It could be Shauna's story, and then Shauna's story evolves into an older Shauna, a tween and teen Shauna, who's now using the hug or connecting through a hug and cultivating empathy and connection through those means. So join the Hug Alliance, join this conscious parenting movement and revolution, and we really love to connect with you. So subscribe and join us and tell us what you like to see more of, and we're happy to produce and cultivate peace through your entertaining eyes. Okay, Judy, it's been a pleasure to have you on MomTalk.
It's lovely to be in your midst, and it's connecting, and the ripple just gets larger and larger. That peaceful, loving moment just continues out into the neighborhood and into your studio audience, so thank you.
Yeah, globally. I'm hoping that if you're watching all the way from the Middle East or Canada or Europe, that you believe in the power of social media, the power of connection, and the power of good in today's world, because we really do need to cultivate hope and optimism more than ever in just how we can shift into a space with a mind or a consciousness that is focused on growth. So growth mindset. And it happens with us, it happens individually, and then collectively. And so when we have people like yourself, women in leadership and power, you know, women who have a strong voice in the community, and women who take a risk to go beyond borders, cultures, you know. This is Andisha TV, and this is probably your first time being on Andisha TV.
Absolutely.
But you took a chance.
Absolutely.
You took a chance, and I'm just so touched, and it is an honor to have you, you know, and to witness this chance that you give to many, and, you know, many families who are hoping that people in leadership and positions of power take that chance and risk to cultivate peace and courage and empower those who perhaps are not in positions of power. So for that, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. I know
Yes.
your work and what you've done. You're a trailblazer, and you know, this is going to continue.
Absolutely.
And we love cultivating peace with you.
Absolutely.
Bye.